finished up doing what I'm going to call an autopsy on Sunday night's games. We went 5-20. So why should you care about the prediction show for Monday? Well, that's a good question. I don't know why you would, but here we are. Colgate laying 13.5 over American U. Now I got that line, and you can see everything else is no line. We're going to fix this tonight, but I got that early this morning. It's up to 17.5. Colgate laying 17.5. So we're going to keep that 13.5. We bought that ticket last night, and it says 13.5 on it. We're going to keep it. So Colgate's our play. We say it's a 20-point victory. Colgate at home. I think that's a pretty safe play. Howard hosting Coppin State just now got this line of 7.5. So we say 14. And Howard's pretty decent. Coppin's had some struggles. We're going to take Howard at home to cover that 7.5. Okay. So what I did was there's no lines, right? But I just went in and did my predictions. Okay. And then when the lines come out, we'll adjust accordingly. So we may have to flip a game or two. So Florida State traveling to Boston College. And the line here is, okay, Boston College getting 1.5. Yeah. We say Florida State by 7. That's our play. Syracuse hosting Georgia Tech. We say 11-point win for Syracuse. And Vegas line is 8.5. So we say win and cover for Syracuse. That's our play. Lafayette hosting Holy Cross. Holy Cross has been playing pretty well lately. We have a 5-point victory. I'm anxious to see what Vegas says about this. Lafayette by 7.5. That is way too much. I think this is too much. I think Holy Cross has a chance to win this game on the road. I mean, they're just playing a lot better. So Lafayette's our play. Oh, God, Big Ten. Ohio State at home to Indiana. Virtually identical ratings. Virtually identical. But when you put them on the road, they're either going to show up with their Z game, which means, night, everybody. Thanks for coming, but we're not going to play hard. It's a little handshake agreement among these Big Ten coaches or something. The line's Ohio State laying 6.5. We're gonna say Indiana, but we just know you always run the risk of even Indiana, with the ghost of Bobby Knight, leering over their heads. It's not below them to just take a night off. They do it like all the other Big Ten teams do it. North Carolina hosting Louisville. We say by 12. What's the line? The line's 9.5. So North Carolina's our play. Penn State at Maryland. Big Ten. Home team. But they're a fighting unit. Penn State's fighting, but they're really good at home. I don't know about on the road. Maryland's a good team. We say it's a 1-point victory for Penn State on the road. I think Maryland's going to be favored here. And they are 2.5. So that makes this a money line. Because we have the dog winning the game. Okay. So it's a money line. We're getting 2.5, and we say the dog wins the game. And bear with me because this is not pretty. For just a moment or two. This is Google Docs, who, I just really enjoy working with Google Docs. I think they're a terrific company full of fantastic people who see these errors and they love to then go to lunch and not work on shit and get stuff fixed because it's just only been 15 years. It's the glitchiest damn thing you've ever laid your eyes on and tried to work with. I'm just appalled that this product is still being used by people. I have to use it in order to share. And functionality has increased, but it's so glitchy. There's 1,000 other things that don't work, or just inefficient or whatever. I'm just not a fan of this stupid program. All right, I'll tell you what I really think next time. Middle Tennessee hosting UTEP. We say 5. The line is 5.5. Middle Tennessee laying 5.5. That makes UTEP our play, and I like that. I like that UTEP's our play. Not anything against Middle Tennessee because they've been playing really well, but UTEP's been playing better as well, especially lately. Here's a SWAC team. A lot of SWAC games tonight. I'm just terrible with the SWAC. They're all different levels of awful is the problem. Okay, and it's just hard to rate awful. Are you more awful than that awful team? Because they're pretty awful. It's like if there was a top 10 for awfulness, there'd be like 90% of the SWAC would be slugging it out to get there. Florida A&M hosting Alabama A&M. We say by 3. What does Vegas say? They say Florida A&M by 6.5. Oh yeah, that's what you think, huh? Well, we're going to take Alabama A&M. In our quest for awfulness. South Carolina State hosting Delaware State. This game probably shouldn't be close because that is one of the top 3 worst teams. They laugh at the SWAC, Delaware State. They've played like 12 games this year. South Carolina State's going to win this thing by a ton. And they computers, Vegas says 11.5. So we say that's a win and a cover for South Carolina State. Norfolk, part of that MEAC. These are MEAC, Metro European Atlantic Athletic something. Norfolk at Morgan State. We say winning by 17. What's the line? Morgan State getting 5.5. So that just makes it super easy because Norfolk State's no joke. More MEAC. North Carolina Central hosting Maryland Eastern Shore. 3 points is what the computer says. And the line here is 5.5. So Maryland Eastern Shore is our play. Yeah, secretly, I kind of got a crush on them. I've been eyeballing Maryland Eastern Shore. They're up to like 16 games this year, but they used to be terrible, like 0 and everything. And now they're less than terrible. They're a little less than terrible now. Samford hosting Citadel, and all you people get mad at me mispronouncing that. Not saying the Citadel. Okay, let's do it this way. The Samford hosting the Citadel. You bet. You happy now? Is 3 points, we say, and the line here is Samford laying 6.5. So the Citadel is the play for us. We say nope. The dog is going to cover. SIU Edwardsville hosting Eastern Illinois, laying 15.5. SIU Edwardsville laying 15.5, folks. Do the math there. You figure that out. Okay, what are you being told? There's still no line. They're probably not going to play it. Lack of interest. Valparaiso at home to Evansville. We say by 9. And Vegas says 8.5, so they say by 9 too. So we think Valparaiso wins and covers here. Northern Colorado at home to Idaho State, laying 15.5. And Northern Colorado 12.5. It's the line. It's a win it's not a win yet, but it will be. It's a cover. We're taking Northern Colorado. Drake's a good team. In that Missouri Valley Conference, they're playing Indiana State at home. A huge advantage for Drake. We have a 13-point victory for them, and Vegas says 11.5. So we're taking Drake. Why wouldn't you? Liberty at Central Arkansas, who just won, I think, their 3rd game of the year. Liberty, a little bit better than them. Laying 20, well, the computer says 24-point victory. We don't know the line yet. The line is 11.5. And so we're going to take that. That's all day. But hey, watch out. Central Arkansas just did win their 3rd game of the year. Illinois State hosting Loyola Chicago. We say it's an 18-point victory. They better be fighting. You can't be losing like you're losing, Loyola. 8.5 points is what the Vegas line is. So we're going to take Loyola Chicago on the road because they're going to have to wake up. They're a good team, but they got to start playing like it. Southern Miss hosting Marshall. Again, folks, do the math. We say it's a 14-point victory for Marshall, and Vegas says 5.5, which is like begging you, please win some money, take Marshall, come pick Marshall. I mean, Southern Miss is terrible. There's just no way of putting it. Southern Utah at Northern Arizona. We say it's a 14-point game. They just lost a game I think they should have won, so I think they're going to be a little bit motivated. Vegas says Southern Utah. Vegas says 6.5. So we know what we're doing. We're taking the road, Warrior. Poor old West Virginia. Folks, I gotta show you this. I mean, poor old West Virginia. Now they're just in the wrong conference, man. Because the Big 12, there's not a bad team in the Big 12. Let's do the lineup here: Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas, Texas Tech. They just keep coming at you. So let's look at their. They're terrible, right? No, they're not. They just played Kansas, Baylor, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Arkansas. So here's the night off from they did the Big 12 versus SEC. And we're going to hand you a hornet's nest. Here, deal with Arkansas. Baylor, Texas Tech, Iowa State. It doesn't end. It just doesn't end for West Virginia. They're not a bad team, but they're 14-12. But that's got to be the lowest strength of schedule in all the land because they've played every good team on the planet. I really feel bad for them. It's just kind of not fair, but that's the conference that they're in. It's just that Big 12, it's the strongest conference in the nation. There's just no question about it. That was Sunday night's affairs. So here they get TCU, and we say TCU is going to beat them by 1, just to rub it in. What's the line? The line is TCU laying 3.5. So here, West Virginia, we love you. And we're going to take you because we believe so strongly in what you do. Prairie View, A&M at Mississippi Valley State. We're laying 17. And Vegas is 7.5. So we're going to take Prairie View in a SWAC matchup, which I always get wrong. So take Mississippi Valley State. They've won 1 game this year. Texas Southern at Arkansas Pine Bluff, 22 is the line. And Vegas is 9.5. They've won 3 games this year, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Okay. So again, do the math. You ever heard of them? Okay. Now they're 22 points better than them. Okay. Do the math. 3 games. They've won 1 game all year. They've won. Alabama, more SWAC. Alabama State at Bethune-Cookman. We say Alabama State wins by 2. What's the line? Give me a money line. Bethune-Cookman by 2.5. Now we're talking. We're getting 2.5. Okay. We got the Alabama State. We have the road team winning. It's a money line. We're on the other side of the line. We'd say the dog wins the game. So we're going to borrow that from that other money line. We're going to put it in play. We highlight these in green because they're going to win us money. UCLA hosting Arizona State's 21 points. Computer says probably not that dramatic. Vegas says 14.5. We just had a touchdown, and but we like UCLA a lot. We got them ranked top 3 or 4. Baylor at Oklahoma State. We say 14-point victory, and Vegas is 4.5-point victory. So we're taking Baylor. San Francisco at Pacific. San Francisco is good. Very, very good team. And Vegas says 13.5. We say 25.5. Now, Pacific did beat BYU we didn't do this. We got to do this. And so, they can step up and surprise, but I don't think BYU is very good. I just don't. I think they're of the ilk of the middle of the West Coast Conference, which includes Pacific, Pepperdine, Portland, San Diego. So I just don't think BYU is any good, relatively compared to the giants such as San Francisco, St. Mary's, and Gonzaga of that conference. That's all. They're a giant. They're a monster. They're not a monster, and neither is BYU. I've made my point. Seattle U. I always like to put that U. Seattle U. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Hosting New Mexico State, who just ripped the crap out of who'd they play? Oh, it was Grand Canyon. They beat the hell out of them at Grand Canyon. Now they go to Seattle. I'm gun shy, man. What do you do here? Seattle's a good team, but they're on a tear. We set a 2-point victory, and yeah, that's what Vegas says. Seattle U laying a 1.5. Oh, wait a minute. Getting a 1.5. Yeah. So New Mexico State, yeah, we're right in step with Vegas on that. Okay, folks. So that's my advice. I just went 5-20 for 20% winning percentage. So factor that in. But I do my best to sort of break down why, the computer is making these calls. And that's the why. So that's our prediction show for tonight. And I've just done back-to-back live streams, and it's time for me to grab a cold one. Here's my cold one. It's a cup filled with ice that's melting. That's what I like. Okay, folks, I shall now bid you adieu. Bye-bye.